Twisting away from Mandzukic. Running at Vaselko. Here's Mbappé! Oh my word! Teenage kicks! The ultimate teenage kick! The boy with the world at his feet! Kylian Mbappé! It is France! Allez les Bleus! All rise to another class of gilded Gallic greats. In the driving Moscow rain, France are the champions of the world. The French 11 is precisely that which beat Belgium in Tuesday's St. Petersburg semi-final. So Hugo Lloris wins his 104th cap, one more than Didier Deschamps. Messrs Varane, Hernandez, Kanté and Pogba protect their record of having started every game, and Olivier Giroud, still without a shot on target in the competition, continues to lead the line. It is 6 of the team which began the European Championship final in Paris 2 years ago, Kylian Mbappé being clearly the most obvious point of positive difference. Coaches with great mutual respect from very different places. Didier Deschamps, understated, decorated, 20 years since he lifted the thing. Nesta Pitana blew the first whistle at the tournament, and he will now blow the last. He is the second Argentine to referee the World Cup final. His countryman Horacio Elizondo famously sent off Zinedine Zidane in Berlin 12 years ago. Senor Pitana has been in charge of both Croatia and France at the knockout stage this year. Massimiliano Errati from beautiful Florence in Tuscany is the video assistant referee. We have come this last month, of course, quite readily. Ages Modric, many people's idea of the player of the tournament. 4 years on from the Maracanã. Midday in Rio, midnight in Tokyo, breakfast in LA, tomorrow morning by the Tasman Sea, 5 o'clock in Paris and Zagreb, 6 o'clock in Moscow, and here is the planet's ultimate game. The final of the 21st Football World Cup. It's the competition's outstanding defenders. Rakitic aimed it at Mandzukic, forced away by Varane. World Cup both as a player and a coach, and keep company therefore with Mario Zagallo and Franz Beckenbauer. He and Christian Karembeu. It's foul by Modric on Umtiti. He and Christian Karembeu did a great job on Leonardo and Rival. Hernandez, one of 4 in the French squad to have started every game. Ran into Modric. And has a free kick. Mbappé. Taken away from Pavard by an eager Perisic, who can run at Varane. Having bypassed him, found Umtiti reinforcing. Essentially, those two have been inseparable when it's mattered. And they're stuck tight, but Vaselko has a position from which he can cross. And it required urgent attention from Rafa Varane. Titi given a little shove by Mandzukic. Strinic. We passed Paul Pogba. Rakitic, oh, that's clever. And Strinic firmly dealt with at very close quarters by Modric with the corner. Lloris did it away well by Pavard. Giroud for Pogba, who goes over the outstretched toe of Ante Rebic. Rakitic, Perisic, it just got away. He's had a terrific World Cup, Ivan Perisic. He stays with Inter after Lovren away, down by Mandzukic. Snatched back by Matuidi. But it's the last page that matters, not the first. And here's Perisic with Rebic charging through the middle, likewise Modric. And Umtiti got back. Referee has Matuidi for Pogba. Mbappé rather over-elaborating. There's Giroud, Griezmann, Mbappé. Mbappé beyond Strinic, out by Vida. Again Mbappé. Croatia aware that they cannot afford for him to get up ahead of steam. Little tickle at the back of Griezmann and a free kick against Brozovic. And really the first moment of offensive promise this for France. There wasn't much, but there was enough. Even Pavard there, strolling beyond the ball. Flicked in by Griezmann and flicked on! And France take the lead in the World Cup final! Deft delivery from Antoine Griezmann! And the French hit the front! Perhaps with assistance from Mario Mandzukic! Indeed, Croatia's centre-forward got the touch that mattered. Defying his keeper. And having scored the goal that mattered in the semi-final, he scores a painful goal that may matter in the final. Just as they were in the last 16, just as they were in the quarter-final, just as they were in the semi-final, Croatia are behind. Played in by Modric and over by Domagoj Vida. Taken back. Well, and fed on towards Mbappé since 1974. Rotherham closed down by Giroud, who's found guilty of handball. Away by Rakitic. And Rebic. Pavard nibbled at his heels. Mbappé. Kept it from Modric. Pogba left it behind. And Lovren fed Mandzukic. And Mandzukic found Rakitic. And if that had rippled the net, we would be talking about one of the great World Cup finals by the skin of their collective teeth. Foul at the back of Perisic, and the first yellow card of the game is shown to France's N'Golo Kante. Faded it in, Vasalko appeared round the back. Mandzukic can compete with Pogba. Came down for Vida. And then Perisic, 1-1! He has screamed that in! Croatia are never behind for long! Perisic again. Deft delivery from Modric. Smart run from the fullback. Good win from the centre forward. Touch back for Perisic. And you know what's happening then. Ivan Perisic gave it the works. And Croatia are level. His third goal of the finals. An equaliser in the semi-final, an equaliser in the final. Pavard. Mbappe's offside. Echoes to some extent for France of 2006 when they took a lead in Berlin against Italy. Modric. Brozovic. Rakitic. Mandzukic. Rakitic. Bit of wind in the Croatian sail now. Not least the personal sail of Ivan Perisic, who's found an extra yard. In by Griezmann and repelled at the near post by Perisic. The French are screaming handball. The referee may feel obliged to take on some advice here. He's given a penalty. A penalty for France in the World Cup final. Antoine Griezmann. France have their lead back. An historic goal. A goal of its age, of its generation. But a penalty is a penalty in any year. And Antoine Griezmann specialises. They lost their lead for 10 minutes, barely that. But as a result of Antoine Griezmann's outstretched left hand, Ivan Perisic's outstretched left hand, Antoine Griezmann was given this opportunity to stroke them back in front. Strinic. Another bolt of lightning. Perisic plays it in. And Rebic couldn't wrap his foot round it. Griezmann for Mbappé. Looking to surge around Strinic. Mbappe's pulled back. Vida didn't get there, but Lovren did. Brozovic away. Rebic looking to turn around Hernandez. Who got a foot in and conceded a free kick. Goals in a World Cup final since 1974 in the first half. The weather's closing in. Modric plays it in, and Perisic won it. Away by Pavard, thumped back in by Lovren, who has to settle for a corner. Rakitic once more. Cleared by Giroud. Last man back is Vasalko. France have a man down. Time, France a man light. In by Rakitic, and Vida didn't time his jump. This competition, one expects nothing less. The masters of victory from behind, Croatia, in the knockout stage of this World Cup. Strinic. Foul on Mbappé. And that'll probably see us through to the break. Well, what a curious game of football in any context. A game indeed to this point which will launch a million debates. After all, the first Griezmann was certainly calm enough over the penalty, rolling in the goal by which France's lead was re-established. Modric not yet the central figure. There's plenty of time for that. Well, when the history of this World Cup for own goals and indeed goals from penalties. And in that regard, this final has rather summed up the whole competition. Giroud. Griezmann. Scored the equaliser from the spot. There's Rakitic. And Rebic! And Lloris was at full stretch. He has not been overemployed. Wafted in by Modric. Couldn't fall for Vida. And Rebic touched it behind. Multi-heroics. Brozovic. Oh, that is a super ball, and Lloris had to read it in the very... Modric. Tweedy caught on it by Luka Modric, and at least to start with, lifted by them. And by Modric, out by Griezmann, Vasalko! I've seen a couple of those of this World Cup. Pavard scored one of them. Nacho for Spain way back from him. And now Pogba. And Pogba's played it early for Mbappé, who can really worry Vida here. This is Kylian Mbappé! And Subasic comes to thwart him. Give him half a yard and he's away. Here's Rakitic. Lloris was not sure under pressure from Mandzukic. Vasalko. Modric. Matiss's challenge was clean, and Griezmann shows a clean pair of heels to all but Vida. Mbappé. Rakitic. Far from behind by Giroud. It's Mbappé taking on Strinic. Mbappé, Griezmann, Pogba! Pogba! For France, and possibly now the world! An iconic French goal for Paul Pogba, who has come to the party and just might have won it. Once more, Mbappé had the key to the door. Once he was on the ball, Croatia were uneasy. Griezmann juggled, Pogba right foot, Pogba left foot, 3-1 France. Matuidi, Mbappé! And Giroud! And taken off Griezmann's toe by a retreating Brozovic. And France now have momentum and belief and freedom. Twisting away from Mandzukic. Running at Vasalko. Here's Mbappé! Oh my word! Teenage kicks! The ultimate teenage kick! The boy with the world at his feet! Kylian Mbappé! There ain't no stopping him now! The first teenage World Cup final goal since Pelé himself. Terrific work from Hernandez. Mbappé had only one thought, and you knew he would execute, of the life ahead of this kid. Only the third teenager ever to start a World Cup final. And there goes Nzonzi. Got a trip from Modric, for whom sadly, because my word, he's been special at this tournament in the way he's had charge of others. In by Pogba, down by Giroud. Oh, Lloris was caught on it by Mandzukic! And Croatia have a little sniff! You can only apologise. Hold your hands up in front of the world. Lloris with a moment of madness, Mandzukic perhaps a moment of redemption. He has scored at both ends in a World Cup final. Lloris offered it to him, and this crazy, crazy game twists once more. Matuidi, Brozovic is down injured and the referee has chosen to stop the game. Clash of heads from Titi and Mandzukic. I think the referee has to stop it, which doesn't work kindly for France. By Vida, Modric, clear of Tolisso, end up for Kramaric. Modric, twisting away from Giroud, out by Varane. Rakitic has scraped it wide. You know, they're not done yet. They are not quite done yet, Croatia. Mbappé to go, and go he does. And Vida is in retreat, and Lovren is in retreat. Mbappé will drive at them, and then slither. Kramaric, Piazza! His first touch wasn't tight enough. Rakitic. Foul by Pogba. And they are more hurriedly on with it than the referee is prepared to permit. That's an irritation for Perisic, who was in behind. In by Rakitic, and pouched confidently by Lloris. He puts it out so that Paul Pogba can receive some treatment. Clearly interpreted as cynical by the Croatian supporters behind the goal. National record. And he may have good reason to remember this one. Fekir. Scythed down by a rather desperate Rakitic. Pogba. He's starting to think about the corner flag instead of the goal. Mind, here's Fekir. And he did require a sort of... In by Perisic. And it goes Lloris again. Rakitic. Why not? Well, there perhaps is why not. Because Brozovic gave it to Pogba, who was fouled. Brozovic clouts it away in frustration. Griezmann. Socco's challenge has Tolisso ailing. Griezmann. Running away from Brozovic and having to hurdle Vasilko, who won't be at all surprised to see the referee arrive, yellow card in hand, simply to enable France to keep the ball if he can. Although here is Pogba! And he missed his kick. A suggestion of handball by Vida after Pogba missed his kick, but nobody seems too concerned. Perisic. Comfortable gullet for Hugo Lloris, a catch that may win the match. It is France. Allez les Bleus! All rise to another class of gilded Gallic greats. The dignitaries meet. The Deschamps double is complete. In 1998, he lifted it. 20 years on, he will see it lifted for him. It will be some can-can on the Champs-Élysées tonight. From Boulogne to Biarritz, Calais to Cannes, Cherbourg to Chamonix, the trophy is returning to the land of Jules Rimet. Finally, Croatia's seemingly immovable object met a force which was just too much. In the driving Moscow rain, France are the champions of